Have you ever just stopped and wondered what is really going on inside your own head? Well, today we're diving deep into some incredibly powerful, honestly life-changing ideas from Shad Helmstetter's classic book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. So get ready, because we are about to take a journey to understand and, yeah, even rewrite our very own mental code. Okay, let's just start with a feeling I think every single one of us knows all too well. Have you ever felt that deep, pull your hair out frustration? You've got the plan laid out perfectly. You know you need to start that new diet or finally hit the gym or get to work on that side hustle. You have all the information, you even have the desire. But when it's go time, when you actually have to do the thing, it feels like you're running full speed into an invisible brick wall. And here's what I really want you to hear. This is so important. That feeling is not a personal failure. It doesn't mean you're lazy or weak or that you lack willpower. Helmstetter's entire point is that this is a programming problem. And the best thing about a programming problem? It can be debugged. It can be rewritten. And hey, if you've ever felt that frustration and you want us to break down more big ideas just like this one, do us a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button. It really, truly helps the channel grow. And I'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments what goal you've been struggling with. Awesome. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we're going to unpack that super frustrating knowing-doing gap. Then, we'll pull back the curtain on your brain's hidden programming, the real culprit behind all this. After that, we'll look at why the usual methods, like just using more willpower, almost always fall flat. Then we get to the good stuff, the actual key to rewriting your inner code. And we're going to finish up by breaking down 5 super practical levels of self-talk you can literally start using today. Let's jump in. All right, section 1, the knowing-doing gap. I mean, this is it. This is that universal struggle, the paradox that so many of us are living with every single day. And it's the real starting point for this whole conversation. And look, this isn't just a feeling. The numbers are absolutely staggering. Just take dieting, for example. Helmstetter points to studies that are, frankly, a little depressing. Millions and millions of people try to lose weight, but the research consistently shows that a huge majority, we're talking over 90%, end up right back where they started, or sometimes even heavier. Now think about that for a second. If the problem was just a lack of information, if it was just about knowing calories or exercise, wouldn't those numbers look completely different? This proves it's not about being weak. There is a systemic issue at play. So here's the absolute crucial point. Knowing what you should do and being able to actually do it are two completely separate things. The space between them, that gap, that's where our best intentions and our biggest goals go to die. And what happens? We blame ourselves, right? We feel guilty, and we get trapped in this horrible cycle of trying and failing and trying again. But Helmstetter argues we've been looking for the answer in all the wrong places. The problem isn't on the surface, it's buried deep, deep down in our underlying programming. And that leads us perfectly into section 2, your brain's hidden programming. Now, this right here, this is the core idea of the entire book. It's the real reason you might be feeling so incredibly stuck. Okay, let's break this down with a fantastic analogy. I want you to imagine your brain is the most powerful supercomputer on the entire planet. It's unbelievable. Now, your life, your actions, your habits, your results, that's just the printout from the computer. But what controls the printout? The software. Your mental programming is the operating system that's running your life 24/7, mostly in the background. It's the grand total of every single word, every compliment, every criticism, every experience you've ever had, all filed away in your subconscious. And if that software is full of bugs or viruses, well, the output, your life, can't possibly be what you want it to be. So, where in the world did we get this software? Well, the vast majority of it was installed when we were kids, mostly before we turned 18. During that time, our minds were just wide open. We were like little sponges. We didn't really have that critical filter that we have as adults to question or reject things. So when our parents, our teachers, our friends, or the media said things over and over again, whether they were good or bad, true or false, our little subconscious minds just went, okay, got it, and accepted them as fact. Those messages became the very bedrock of our belief system. And this slide right here shows the essential difference we absolutely have to understand. Thinking is something we do consciously. It's that little voice in your head that goes, okay, today I am definitely going to the gym. It's logical, it's intentional, but man, is it temporary. Programming, on the other hand, is subconscious. It's automatic. It's that deep, silent belief that just whispers, nah, you're lazy. You never stick with anything. So in a head-to-head fight, who are you going to bet on? That permanent, deep-rooted program is going to win against a fleeting, conscious thought almost every single time. Now, let's build on that in Section 3, because if our programming is that powerful, it suddenly becomes crystal clear why so many of the common self-help methods just don't work. Turns out, we've been fighting the completely wrong battle this whole time. Come on, we've all tried these, right? Gritting our teeth and using sheer willpower, getting all amped up from some motivational video on YouTube, or my personal favorite, just trying to force ourselves to think positive. In Helmstetter's model, these approaches are pretty much doomed from the start. And why? Because none of them address the root cause. They don't change the underlying program. This idea is so important. Trying to use a single positive thought like, I am a successful person, to fight against decades of subconscious programming that's been saying, you're not good enough, well, it creates this massive internal war. Your subconscious mind, which acts like a loyal security guard for your established beliefs, immediately flags that positive thought as an intruder, as a lie. It doesn't match the existing code, so X is denied. It gets rejected. Willpower is just a battery, and it always runs out. External motivation fades away. These methods are like trying to fix a software bug by just yelling at your computer screen. It feels like you're doing something, but it just doesn't work. So, what is the real solution? What actually works? Well, that's what Section 4 is all about, rewriting your inner code. Instead of fighting the symptoms, we are finally going to attack the cause, using a simple but incredibly profound sequence that Helmstetter lays out for us. This right here is the magic formula. It's the PBA sequence. Programming leads to beliefs, which then lead to actions. You see, most of us try to change our actions directly, and that is exactly why we get stuck. The real path to change that actually lasts starts at the very beginning, with the programming. We have to consciously, deliberately, and repeatedly change the input, the words we are feeding our own minds. When we do that consistently, over time, those new inputs start to forge new beliefs. And once a belief is locked into the subconscious, the new actions, they just follow, automatically, effortlessly. So what's the tool? How do we do this reprogramming? It's self-talk. You know, that inner dialogue we have going on all day isn't just random, meaningless chatter. No. It's the command line for our brain. It is the keyboard that we use to write brand new code for our minds. What we consistently say to ourselves day in and day out is either making that old negative programming stronger, or it's installing a brand new positive operating system. The choice is always ours. Okay, so how do we actually use this tool effectively? That brings us to our final and maybe the most practical part of this whole explainer. Section 5, the 5 levels of self-talk. This is just a brilliant framework for diagnosing where you are right now and then creating a clear path to move forward. All right, let's really break these levels down, because this is where the theory turns into action. At the very bottom, level 1, we have negative acceptance. This is the voice of total defeat. I just can't do this. Then you've got level 2, recognition of need, which sounds a tiny bit better, but it's still completely powerless. I really need to change, but I just can't. Now, level 3 is the trap. This is where most positive thinking gets stuck. It's saying, I am successful, when your deep down programming is screaming, no, you're not, and that huge internal conflict just shuts everything down. But now, look at level 4. This is where the magic begins. Affirmative self-talk. Instead of telling a lie your brain will reject, you tell it a new truth. I am in the process of becoming successful. Do you see how clever that is? It completely bypasses the resistance. And once that belief gets solid, you graduate to the top. Level 5, programmed self-talk, where you state your new identity as a simple fact. I am a disciplined person who achieves my goals. So if you remember one thing, remember this. Level 4 is the bridge. It's the special language that lets you start building a new belief without your subconscious mind hitting the big red reject button. It just lowers all that internal resistance. And once that new belief starts to take hold, you move up to level 5. And that is the language that permanently rewrites the code, creating a new identity and making those new actions feel completely automatic. And so there you have it. The ideas we've talked about today give you the tools not just to understand why you do what you do, but to fundamentally change your life from the inside out. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Right now, in this very moment, what is your programming telling you? And more importantly, what are you going to start telling it back? Thanks so much for watching.